What if I told you that one silent moment, one hidden camera angle, and one unexpected Instagram upload just shook the entire world? Welcome back to Jikook Lover, the channel where secrets are uncovered, hidden moments are revealed, and nothing stays in the dark forever. Before we begin, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts in the comments, because what you're about to see is not just another celebrity moment. This is something that was never meant to be seen until now. Because finally, the secret moment of Jungkook behind the scenes of Hublot has been revealed. And the biggest question is, was this an accident or was it intentional? There are moments that feel planned. And then there are moments that feel like they were never meant to happen at all. This was one of those moments. It didn't begin with an announcement. There was no dramatic teaser, no countdown, no warning, no official statement hinting that something unusual was about to unfold. The world moved forward like it always did, millions of people scrolling endlessly, unaware that within hours, a single upload would shift the attention of an entire global community. It began quietly, almost too quietly, and that's exactly why it became so loud. When the notification appeared, it didn't look different from any other notification. Just a name, just a platform, just another post in an endless stream of content. But this wasn't just anyone. It was Jungkook. And when Jungkook posts, the world stops. Within seconds, screens lit up across continents. Phones vibrated in bedrooms, offices, buses, and quiet late-night spaces. Fans who had been waiting, watching, hoping, suddenly froze. Because there it was, a new Instagram upload. No explanation, no context, no comforting caption guiding people on how to interpret what they were seeing. Just an image. And somehow, that image said everything. At first glance, it didn't look dramatic. There were no flashing stage lights, no roaring crowd, no microphone in hand, no performance, no spectacle. Instead, there was silence. There was stillness. There was Jungkook, not in front of the world, but behind it, behind the scenes of Hublot. It was a space the public rarely sees, a space that exists in the shadows of luxury and perfection. A place where moments happen before they become history, where identities shift between public icon and private individual. And Jungkook was standing right there, not performing, not posing, just existing. And that alone was enough to ignite something unstoppable. Within minutes, the image began spreading. Screenshots were shared, fans zoomed in. Every detail became evidence. Every shadow became a clue. Every angle became a question waiting to be answered. Why was he there like that? Why did it feel different? Why did it feel personal? There was something in his posture that fans couldn't ignore. Something in the atmosphere. Something in the way the moment felt suspended between two realities. The Jungkook the world knows, and the Jungkook the world rarely sees. Because for years, Jungkook has existed under constant light. As a member of BTS, he has performed in front of millions. He has stood on stages so large they barely seemed real. He has carried expectations heavier than most people could ever imagine. But this moment was different. There was no performance to hide behind, no role to play, no illusion to maintain. This was not the global superstar commanding attention. This was someone standing quietly in a space not designed for the audience. And somehow, that made it more powerful than any stage ever could. The internet reacted instantly. Some fans described chills. Others described emotional confusion they couldn't explain. Some believed it meant something bigger. Others believed it was simply a rare, honest glimpse into a world carefully hidden from public view. But everyone agreed on one thing. This wasn't ordinary. Because ordinary moments don't spread like wildfire. Ordinary moments don't make millions of people stop what they're doing. Ordinary moments don't create silence so loud it echoes across the world. Yet this one did. Media outlets began monitoring the reaction. Online discussions multiplied. Theories formed faster than facts. Every second without explanation only deepened the mystery. And Jungkook said nothing. No clarification. No follow-up. No attempt to shape the narrative. Just silence. And silence, in moments like this, is never empty. Silence creates space. Space for interpretation. Space for emotion. Space for questions that may never have simple answers. Some fans wondered if this was a signal. Not an announcement, not a confirmation, but something subtler. Something felt, not said. Others wondered if this was a turning point, a quiet line separating what was before and what comes next. Because sometimes, the most important moments don't announce themselves. They appear quietly, disguised as something small, waiting to be understood later. And perhaps that's what made this moment unforgettable. It didn't demand attention. It earned it. It didn't explain itself. It didn't need to. Because the power of the moment wasn't in what was shown. It was in what was not explained. It was in the unanswered questions. It was in the feeling that something deeper existed beneath the surface. The world has watched Jungkook grow, watched him transform, watched him evolve from someone with dreams into someone who became part of history itself. But moments like this remind people of something else. That behind every global icon is still a human being standing in quiet spaces no one else sees. Standing between expectation and reality, between public and private, between who the world believes they are and who they truly are. Hours passed, yet the feeling remained. It lingered in conversations, in comment sections, in the quiet thoughts of fans who couldn't explain why something so simple felt so heavy. It wasn't dramatic in the traditional sense. There was no obvious action, no clear statement, and yet the emotional impact was undeniable. It was as if the world had been allowed to see something it wasn't supposed to see. Not a performance, not a brand moment, but a transition. Because behind the polished campaigns, behind the luxury symbolism of Hublot, and behind the carefully constructed public appearances, there exists a fragile, invisible space where decisions are made, where futures quietly begin before anyone else realizes they've already started. And Jungkook stood right in the center of that space. Fans began noticing subtle details they hadn't paid attention to before. The lighting didn't feel accidental. The framing didn't feel random. The timing didn't feel ordinary. Everything about the upload carried a strange sense of intention, even without words. Why upload it now? Why show that moment? Why remain silent afterward? Silence can protect secrets, but it can also amplify them. For someone like Jungkook, whose every movement is watched, analyzed, and remembered, nothing ever truly exists in isolation. Every image becomes part of a larger story. Every moment becomes a piece of something still unfolding. And this moment felt like a beginning disguised as an ending. Because sometimes, the most powerful message isn't delivered through a microphone or a stage. Sometimes, it's delivered through a single image, left behind like a question no one is ready to answer.